At the end of a long quote, we get down to and I'm about to tell y'all how we got there. Subscribe to the channel, Life and Projects Boss on YouTube. Alright, so we're at the Jaguar dealership, man. I had to bring my car here because I had like a random misfire was happening. Only when I like punched that mug to the floor. Brought it here. They tried to recreate it like twice. I had to come back over here and show the guy how to drive it 2 different times. Keep in mind, I stay about 45 minutes from the dealership. Because the dude was telling me, your car is fine, your car is fine. So I brought the car here. He tested it out, said everything was fine on it, whatever. Came back over here, picked it up. Immediately after I picked it up, I took off in it, and as soon as I got on the highway, I punched it. Started misfiring. Turned around, brought it right back over here. And I said, look, I don't know what he did, but car doing the same thing. I had swiped my card. He had changed the what you call it, a coil pack on it, supposedly, just randomly. I don't know how he tested the coil pack to see if it was messed up or not. So after I brought it back, told him like I don't know what he did to it, but it's doing the same thing, and I done paid for a coil pack. So I left it. Came back again, and this time, when I came back the second time, he was like, "Oh, you got more than 1 coil pack out." So I paid for total of 4 coil packs. He put 3 more in there. And I'm like, ain't nowhere in the world. I was like, how in the hell do I have half my motor misfiring with coil packs? So that's not even, that don't sound right. And it was like, that's what the technician said. That's what the technician said. Keep in mind, it's the same technician that's working on the car the whole time. All right, so I said, all right. So I let him do it. Come back again. Car is misfiring again. This time, the technician had gotten the car and rode with me. Now, shit, let me scratch that. All right, so I'm over here at Jaguar, the Jaguar Land Rover dealership. I'm having my issues with the car. I mean, the car drives and rides fine until I decide if I want to punch that mug to the floor, and that's when the misfiring starts. So I'm about to give y'all the whole rundown in a second. I'm gonna give y'all the whole rundown in a second because they're about to pull up, hopefully, with my car in the next few minutes. But I will show you this. The initial service that I paid for, they put spark plugs, ignition coils and all that in there, 11, 14, and they end up taking all of that and refunding it back to me. So that ended up being not the issue. When I fast forward, at the end of a long quote, we get down to and I'm about to tell y'all how we got there. Back to the house. I'm about to go to the gym, but yeah, this is a $30,000 problem according to Jaguar, that they don't even know what it is. And I'm gonna tell y'all the whole story. I'm gonna get situated so I can just focus on the storytelling part and not be trying to drive and do other stuff at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's been a lot of little nonsense with the dealership. Oh gosh, I almost want to just tell you the story right now, but I know I'm gonna mess it up trying to talk and think about everything that happened in the right order. But yeah, I'm headed to the gym now, man. I'll get up with y'all in a second. All right, now let's get to the story. All right, so let's run it back on what all went down. So I actually got the clip too. I was racing some motorcycles, right? I was getting on interstate in Mexico, and I was racing some motorcycles. Well, while racing these motorcycles, I mean, we just pulling, just freaking yanking on them, freaking, and they rolling by, and it was a lot of traffic, so it wasn't like we was actually having a line down run. It was just like playing around, and it was cool too, because it was behind me. Anyway, get on the interstate, punching it. And then a motorcycle, a Mustang come up that we caught up to, and he tried to start like jumping and like running with him too. So what happened was they started clearing the path like they wanted me to catch up and race him. Well, by the time I caught up to him, he had got off on the exit anyway. Even though I rode his bumper for a little while, I think when he saw that I was behind him, he's like, I don't want none of that. Anyway, but it wasn't until I got off the interstate and I got to a red light, I felt the car like, I'm like, oh, it's running rough. Let me get back on and go home. Got home, went a couple days later, took the car to the dealership, told them what was wrong with it. It was misfire and a code that came up. Now in the meantime, before I brought it to the dealership real quick, I checked it with a code scanner at the house, and it said something. I couldn't remember. I had took a picture in my phone, but somehow I must have deleted it because I was like, I want to make sure I remember this code. It said something about the catalytic oxygen. I don't know if it was oxygen sensor or catalytic converter, but whatever it was, my brain said, oh, that must be the O2 sensor bad or something. It got to be something simple. Anyway, fast forward, took it to the dealer, told him I wanted an oil change and a diagnostic to figure out why I was misfiring. A couple of days later, they called me back, told me your car ready. Got there, they're like, well, we can't find anything wrong with your car. I mean, it's running like it's supposed to be. The technician said everything is good. I mean, the only thing else they saw that you had a little catalytic converter damage from whenever you had the misfire, but it's running, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm like, my heart beat. I'm like, nah, bro. My car is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I know that. I don't want to leave here, stay 40 minutes from the dealership. I don't want to leave here and have to come back here because my car ain't doing what it's supposed to be doing. Y'all the professionals. So get in the car. As soon as I get on the freaking road right in front of the dealership, leaving, I punch it. Gun that mug. And I said, ooh, it's doing it. I called him right back. I was like, look, it's messing up again. He was like, all right, well, pull it back over here so you can see. Pull it back around. The technician came out, and while I'm parking at the dealership, he's like, yeah, I see what's going on. He's like, it's probably just an ignition coil or something like that. We'll go ahead and swap the coils around. Should fix it, blah, blah. I'll figure out what's wrong. We'll change the bad coils out. It should be something simple. Boom, he called back later that week. They said they swapped the coils, but they were recommended to do a pressure test to make sure that the system cylinder pressures was all good and all that. Did that too. That was like $950. The coils was like $200 a pop. Anyway, I said 200 a pop, right? So check this out. So came back to pick it up, right? Got it in again, did the same thing. Got in that mug, gunned it, boom. Cause I'm trying to test it out. Cause it don't mess up when I'm driving like a grandma, driving regular, driving with decent acceleration. It ain't messing up. So I gun it again, boom. Cause I know what it takes to make it mess up. All right, it was like, ain't no way. Like bring it back. I bought it back again, pulled up. This is like within minutes of taking off. The guy was like, man, my technician's gone, man. Can you just take the car and bring it back tomorrow, man? Cause I just closed your ticket out and I'm trying to figure out why he telling me about my ticket. I don't care about my ticket. I want my car fixed. So they let me know they trying to get me out the door fast. That's what I'm feeling like, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, I'm not driving this car back. I don't know if he thought I lived around the corner, 1 block behind the dealership or something. But dude, I'm not driving this car 40 minutes and then 40 minutes back. A whole nother day, taking off work or, you know, whatever to get it back. That's too much. All right, left the car here. They told a couple of days later they told me they found 2 more cars was bad. So it was 3 cars I changed out with the compression test, and I came back and then I swiped the card again. Now keep in mind this is my 2nd time back at the dealership. I done swiped my card every time I came and paid for something and left without the damn car. I'm swiping my card and leaving out the car. Swiping my card and leaving out the car. So I come back this 3rd time, right? Boom. This time, this the time right here. I come back and I get in that mug and take off, and dude be like, it gotta be another coil or something. I'm like, 3 coils is already bad. I didn't have half of a motor running when I got here. Like, how the hell it could be possibly 3 coils? Well, he said, well, the technician's not here. You'll get back with me. So apparently they supposedly got back with me. This is about a week or so later because I'm out of town working now. And the dude emailed me and said, it's not your ignition coils. He said, Mr. James, what's your personal email so I can send you over the new quote, and we're gonna refund the money back to your car. Keep in mind, that don't never sound good. I'm already paid them with like $1,600. $1,100. It's like $1,114 right here. That's what they look. Ignition coil, spark plug, coil ignition, coil plug on the look. This I done got coils, ignitions, and all this junk, and computer checks, all this. Then I had this one right before this. This is all whenever they did my service and my diagnostics. So I'm at like what, $1,600 right there, right? They refund me the $1,100 off of that one. This one $500. They didn't refund this one. I gotta see exactly. They might need to refund me some of this one too. I gotta look at it. But anyway, refunded me my money, and then they sent me over the new quote. Let's check this shit out now. What this mug at? This the new quote, bro. Oh, I'm dropping the damn camera. The dude said he don't know what it is in so many words. And I'm like, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way, bro. He said, refunded the money. He said, I believe to have a broken or weak valve spring causing valve to float at high RPMs. Would have to remove valve cover to diagnose correctly. Valve or spring issue would require engine replacement because of internal engine failure. Price, valve cover, gaskets, intake gaskets, supercharger, cooler gasket, injector seal kits. And then you go down to this service request right on it. It says engine replacement because of internal engine failure. Price, long block, exhaust gaskets, bolts, intake gaskets, flywheel bolts, torque converter bolts, drive shaft bolts, oil, coolant. And you start having a whole itemized list of clamp, exhaust, nut, stud, manifold, all individual itemized parts. Set screw, gaskets, bolt, antifreeze, filter, oil, engine strip. Look, engine stripped. Engine stripped, 16 bands. 16 bands for engine stripping. Look at that, and a bunch of other parts. The heater, pipe outlet. Keep in mind, I just replaced the heater, pipe, tube, thermostat, hose, pipe. All this was just replaced a couple months ago. Y'all remember when I did this? When I went to the dealership and I got I paid for the entire coolant system to be completely redone. What a day that? Oh, $225. So it's the February. So in February, this was the charge. I told them to change everything out because I ain't want no problems. What the third sheet at? Boom. In February, this is just February, right? And he already ordered new parts, everything just running the price up. So look, estimate line total $26.9, right? And you come out here with the additional recommendations and all this junk, the revised estimate, 30 bands. 30 bands because he don't know what's going on. 30 bands. Keep in mind, I got in my car and drove it the merry way home. 40 minutes or whatever. Driving normal. Wasn't driving like a grandma. Was going about 75, 80 on the highway. Car running like butter. No problems, no issues, no nothing. Only thing I do know is if I punch it to the floor, like I'm freaking racing a Hellcat or something, then I can make the car that starts to misfire at some point. So I'm like, bro, this is not it. This car is running good. Everything's doing what it's supposed to do. It's only something. And the key thing is, when I turn the car off, not right away, but probably could sit for a day or so. I never tried to do it after a couple hours, but I turn the car off and I crank it back up after, let's say after a day, the car's back normal. No more misfiring. It's gone. Doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I had a couple things I looked up at. Looked up my fuel rail could have a low pressure, a clog, like blockage, like possibly need a new one to be cleaned or whatever. Injectors need to be cleaned. So I ordered some that beef. I forgot. I just looked it up last night. It was on somebody posted it on another XJ forum, I think. It's like something like B44K or something. I already ordered it. It's on my Amazon. Anyway, I ordered 2 cans of that. It's an injector cleaner. I'm gonna put that in there. But then I looked at Sal's Garage. Good video Sal did. Sal did a good video on Sal's Garage, and he had the V6, but when I saw the video on Sal's Garage, he had the same exact issue. His catch was messed up, and it had multiple cylinder misfire. It must do like 8 codes. It had multiple cylinders randomly misfiring, and it wasn't just like 1 cylinder or 2 cylinders. It was just random misfire. It had the multiple misfire code. I said, that's exactly what I'm having now. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna gut my cats myself first, just to do that. And if that clears the problem up, I'm gonna go ahead and throw all the tune, the vape tune on here, the pulley, the new cats, the 200 cell cats, and everything. So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. So I'm about to try the fuel treatment, and then I'm gonna go ahead after that. I'm gonna come back around. We'll probably in the same time. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna gut the cats and just clear that blockage up because I know my cat's jacked up after misfiring that long. Keep in mind, when I was racing them freaking bikes, I didn't even know my car was misfiring. I knew I felt a little power. I felt like my car wasn't taking off like it would, but it was still busting ass, you know? And I didn't know till I slowed down and my car had misfired. So I already knew I was punching it through while the car was misfiring. So I know my cat's probably jacked up a little bit. So I'm gonna knock them cats out, clear it out, and I'll see if the car doing what it's doing. If the misfiring goes away, worst case scenario, I might get a check engine light from throwing a emissions code or something like that. That's if that even happens. It didn't happen to my previous one of my other cars I had in the past. It didn't happen to Sal's car in Sal's Garage, or at least by the time the video ended, it didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and see how that work, man. But anyway, that's all this video really about. Just kind of updating you on the status of the Jaguar. I mean, like I say, man, $30,000. Are you serious? 30 bands. Anyway, we over 1K, man. Appreciate the love, man. Keep the subs going. Make sure y'all share the videos, man. We gotta keep the more content coming for y'all. And again, man, I love y'all, man. Deuces.